few videos, we were doing long division when we had a decimal in our quotient, but both the numbers that we were dividing were whole numbers. So today we're going to take a look at dividing when we have a decimal in our dividend. So let's give an example of 7 6/10 divided by 4. 7 6/10 divided by 4. So you see I have a decimal point in my dividend, and I'm dividing it by a whole number, 4. Okay, so long division with the decimal and the dividend is very similar to long division of a whole number. The main thing that we're going to remember is wherever you see your decimal point in your dividend, we're going to put it right in the same spot in our quotient. So actually, before I even start dividing, I go when I write my decimal point into my quotient so I don't forget to have it in my answer. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and divide like I normally would divide. Okay, so I'm going to look at my greatest place value, which this place is the ones place. I have 7 ones, and I need to figure out, well, what times 4 is going to get me close to 7? 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, so that's too many. So I need to do 4 times 1. 1 times 4, that gives me 4. So I'm going to take that away. That leaves me with 3 left. Okay, so if you're writing this down along with me, take a second to catch up to me. Next, I'm going to do 6. I'm going to bring that down next to my 3. And so now I have the number 36. From this point on, I'm not going to worry about that decimal point. I already took care of it in my quotient. I don't need to use it in any other part of my problem. So I'm going to think, well, what times 4 is going to get me close to 36? And I know that 4 times 9 equals 36. So I'm going to use 9. I'm going to put that right up here on the other side of my decimal point, right above the 6. You were using the 6, it's going to go above the 6. 9 times 4 is 36. When I subtract, I don't have anything left over, so I don't need to add any additional zeros or anything else. So my quotient is 1 9/10. Let's try another example. Our next example is going to be 22 2/10 divided by 6. So take a second to write that in your composition book or on your whiteboard and follow along with me at home. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my decimal point. I see it here. I'm going to put my decimal point right up here into my quotient. So I have tens and ones, and I have tenths. All right, so as I go through and put my answer down, I need to make sure I'm lining all my place values up together. So here, again, I'm going to look at my greatest place value, which is my tens, and 2 divided by 6. I cannot get any groups of 2 from 6, and this is why it is important sometimes to put that 0 there so you don't get your place values out of order when you're putting your quotient in. Well, now I'm going to look at 22. 22 divided by 6. So I need to think about my 6 times tables and think about, well, what times 6 is going to get me close to 22? I know that 6 times 3 is 18. And 6 times 4 is 24. Well, 24 is too many. I only have 22 things here. I can't take 24 away from 22. I'm just going to use 3. Okay, I'm going to put 3 up here. 3 times 6 is 18. Let's see how many we have left. 22 take away 18 is 4. I'm going to bring that 2 down next to my 4. And now I have 42. 42 divided by 6. What times 6 is going to get me close to 42? Now think about those 6 times tables. I know that 6 times 7 equals 42. So I'm going to use a 7 up here. 7 times 6 is 42. And when I subtract, I don't have anything left over, so I know I have completed my answer. So my quotient is 3 7/10.